Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the Mediavite channel. So today we are talking about one of the things that I think a lot of people have a lot of trouble with, and that is finding and how to spot hidden meanings in your favorite films. So finding hidden meanings in your favorite films is not as easy as it seems. So I want to talk to you about two different categories of hidden messaging in film and how to spot some of them, and one side that maybe you aren't supposed to spot them. First, the main category, hidden intentional messaging and how to find it. The first thing you can do is to look for patterns in the film. So things that repeat are often going to be the key, or either themselves or to another piece of the media and the message itself. Or it could be another way to understand better what the messaging really is and what it means. So you can look at the red jumpsuits in Us, the rabbits in Us, the kind of tethered and untethered kind of communities and what that means. You also have to look at something like the sled in Citizen Kane. You see it at the very beginning, it has no real mentions or understandings. It comes up multiple times throughout the film, but it doesn't seem as important until the very end of the film. And if you know Citizen Kane, you know the ending, Rosebud, and what all that means. But the other things you can look at too that are really important are like the oranges in The Godfather. The way that oranges are very clearly defined as what that means in Italian culture with death and all that. The way oranges are played throughout the whole film and what is the meaning behind the oranges and the intention behind it. If you don't know it, you don't know it, but repeating those messages throughout the film helps you understand better what the overall meaning of The Godfather is. But then you also have to look at a different side of a repeating kind of pattern. Look at something like the pennies in Final Destination, in the newest one. If you haven't seen it, spoilers a little bit, but the penny comes back. So there's a penny, it's thrown off the very beginning of the film in the sky view, if you remember. Thrown off, and it's kind of a big part of what happens in the premonition. The very end of the film, Death brings back that penny, and that's what causes the train to derail at the end of the film and kill our main two protagonists. So repeating patterns, repeating messages, and I think Final Destination is one of the best examples of the whole franchise, really, because so much of that film tells you little messages about how a character is going to die. I think it's either the second film or I think it's the second one. It's when the guy gets impaled by the falling ladder in the apartment. If you look in the back on the refrigerator, there are letters that spell out I, E-Y-E on the back. But you have to see it, like you have to like kind of know what it's talking about. But it's not something that you're going to pick up on immediately as it being something special at all. The next thing to kind of look out for is during important parts of the film, if you trust the director to do what the director is supposed to do, you understand that everything you see in the frame, props, characters, pictures, or lack thereof of props, characters, or pictures, it might be a crucial thing to understanding what the meaning of certain scenes are, or even the overall film. So a lot of characters will have characters where, for example, let's say a character's walking through a frame, but the frame is only from their neck up, right? An hour later in the movie, they might be decapitated, and that was 100% intentional. One other thing I think is really important about trying to look for hidden messages in the film is to understand better the overall narrative of the film. So understanding the entire plot of The Godfather makes it a lot easier to understand what the oranges mean throughout the whole film. Same thing with Us. Having a better understanding of the overall narrative plot of Us makes the tethered, untethered, and the rabbits a lot more understandable, and you can understand a lot more of what the intentional hidden messaging is about the rabbits and about the tethered or untethered world. So the second category is much harder, and one that I think So you might be searching for something that you were never meant to find in the first place. So a lot of films have meanings that were meant to make you question everything you understood about the film, about life in general, and you're not meant to understand what that message is. So sometimes films, you are not meant to know what it 100% means. You're supposed to guess what that means, right? Like, let's look at The Thing, for example, or The Shining, either one. Parts of The Shining are very confusing, and that is 100% on purpose, because you're supposed to take what you think happens in The Shining as a factual idea, right? Same thing with The Thing. So The Thing makes the issue with looking at The Thing, right? Like, you could pretty much figure out which one is The Thing, but you don't know, and that is what makes The Thing so, stand the test of time, right? Like, that's why the ending works the way it does. So sometimes films have meanings that you aren't supposed to know as a definitive answer, right? Like, you're not meant to have a definitive answer for what these different questions and things mean. And sometimes that can be done because you're meant to have an emotional attachment to the way that the story ends that you wouldn't have if the story ended 100% narratively, like tied perfectly with the bow, right? Like the ending of The Shining, again, that ending works partially because you're very confused about what everything means by the end of it, right? So that is kind of some of the ways that you can look for hidden messaging, two kind of main categories for hidden messaging in film. What do you guys think? Do you like hidden messages in films? Do you kind of always search from the background for kind of hidden messages, or do you kind of not think about it until the end of the film and you're like, okay, well, what just happened and what does that mean? Let me know in the comments, and let me know some movies that have hidden messages that you guys were like really confused at first and you found out, or you still don't understand what it means, and maybe we can kind of figure that out together. So let me know all that in the comments down below. Make sure you listen to other podcasts on the Mediabyte Podcast Network, because we're doing a lot of that. Also, if you didn't watch the Garfield video, which I don't blame you, it's about Garfield, this is the new setup here. So CDs over here, all over here, Blu-rays, movies down here, all that stuff, right? The glare that you see here will get fixed. Don't worry about that. That will be fixed because that's irritating my eyes, so I'm sure it hurts yours as well. So don't worry, that'll get fixed. And yeah, so thank you all. You can follow all of us. Mediabyte Co. is on TikTok. Instagram is Mediabyte Company. Follow the Patreon. It's just Mediabyte. It's all commentaries. It's $5. You don't have to, but I would deeply appreciate it if you did. And yeah, so Blue Sky as well. Blue Sky is mediabyte.bsky.social. You can find us there. And yeah, so thank you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.